we were extremely fortunate enough to attend, really lucky to attend on April 25th, 2026, a football match at Garden on 8, located in Media One Hotel in Dubai, UAE, to watch Arsenal versus Newcastle. It was an incredible experience. My wife and I interviewed the guest. We looked around the entire venue. It's a massive venue, and we had the pleasure to sit down with the manager, Jack Smith. He was gracious enough to step away from his incredibly busy schedule with the World Cup coming up and everything. He sat down with us to discuss everything that happens at Garden on 8, everything that Garden on 8 has to offer, and really, truly, Garden on 8 is the place to be if you want to watch sports in the UAE.
So with the home of Arsenal in the UAE, the fan club has around about 1,000 members, give or take, but then they're coming in and out of Dubai. So they're probably holding residents could be 300-400 people. And then obviously just normal fans for the game, they'll come down because we're linked with that membership. They come to Garden on 8, and that's kind of how people get traction for it. So It's good. The last game that we had with them, which was the Arsenal-Tottenham game, we did initially have around 500 people. And then, so this a push is about 500 people that we could fit in the whole venue. So it's like the whole place is full. It's a really nice atmosphere. It's a cool place. For me, back home, we were also linked with Arsenal, thankfully. So by some grace, I can kind of get a gist as to what's going on when I first came here. For English supporting clubs, there's not a massive difference, to be honest. When you're inside of the venues, people are very similar. You know, you sit, you watch the games, you cheer when you win. But what I do like about here, you're exposed to so many different cultures and nationalities. So over there, for example, we've got Bayern Munich. We're also the home of Bayern Munich. So they have a club, it's around about 80 people, and their normal turnout is somewhere between 20 and 50, depending on how big the game is. So for the Champions League, we expect around 50 people. And their culture is everyone blends together in one big group. They're kind of standing, and they stand and drink and watch the game. Over here, you'll see a lot more people sitting, and they'll sit and drink and watch the game and eat. We'll have Marseille, French league.
Oh, really?
Theirs is like a stadium. So their approach to football is everyone walk around wherever you want to walk around, watch the game. They do chants and cheers throughout the game as if you're in a stadium. They have flags, banners, the lot. And it's provided by the head of the club. So their concept is quite fun.
And they come here at the Marseille league?
Yeah. We also have them here. We have Roma here. Basically, my concept is you want to have a fan base, right? That's the first thing, and you want to make sure you're paying attention to the people that are running those clubs and how you can best work with them to get the best experience for their fan club, but also the guests that come anyway. So normally I do that through WhatsApp, and I'm in so many different groups for Arsenal or for Bayern or all of these clubs, where I'm communicating with the head of that group and maybe 2 or 3 other people that are running the chair. And then myself and my reservation team are there. And then we communicate together as to how we can do a good or the best experience for them. That's kind of how I'm rolling it with culture. Their culture and approach is just different. Like they really don't like sitting down. They want to stand up and they want to be right in front of the screen. They'll just be there together. And it seems like every single person in the group all share that same mindset, which is great. And it's interesting to work with as well, because you have to adapt quite quickly to. That's definitely not the standard level of service that you would give for an Arsenal game, for example. I definitely want people to have a great time when they're here, or even just watching the games in general. But if it's a table of 2, for example, in the way that Dubai is kind of designed, it's a seating environment pretty much. That's your service over here. So if it's a table of 2 in the middle of a restaurant and they're cheering and shouting, it's not the right look. But if you have these hubs and everyone is on board and everyone is cheering with you, it creates that sound. We have these giant drums. I'm trying to think where they are. I think one's over there and one's over there. Basically, when they build up for their walkout song, I'll go over to the fan or to the group some people in the crowd and give them the drumstick and a drum. And you just, you drum for them first to show that this is how hard you hit it. Sometimes the kids or whatever it is, and they just get to drum. And when do you ever get to? It's like a giant drum, so it's cool. It's a really cool environment that you can build with those things. Yeah, and also you have a lot more freedom inside of a fan zone or a venue like this, because you have table service. The restrooms are there. There's someone cleaning them and keeping them nice. Everything is tailored around guest experience. Whereas in a stadium, the guest experience is to watch the game and the crowd and the roar of the crowd.
So what was your best experience as a fan watching a game, either at home?
My goodness, I think to be fair, there's two. So one was I was actually working in the UK back at this previous place. It was when Forest were about to get relegated and they played Arsenal in the last game of the season or second to last game of the season. And they needed to win. And they went 1-0 up in the first 5 minutes. I think it was 2 years ago now. And basically against Arsenal, and they'd just gone up, and it was a great experience. And there was 5 minutes left of the game, and I just closed the floor. I closed the bar that we were running at the time, and the guys were coming up, and I was like, look, mate, this is my team. You're in my city. Can I just 5 minutes and then we'll keep going? I just need to know what happened, And when they scored, it was just electric. Everyone was on board. There's hundreds of people all in the room, and everyone cheers all at the same time. It's a brilliant experience to be in that.
Do you think those moments are less frequent today in football than it was maybe 5-10 years ago?
I think that in the right place, it's exactly the same. If you have a place that's big enough with hundreds of people in it, when a goal is scored, for me, it sounds so similar to the memory I have of watching the games when I was younger. Basically, I stopped going to the City ground as an adult after me and my dad. I went to watch the games live when I was a kid, and then as an adult, I've only ever really experienced the games on the screen in fan zones. So as a kid, my best memory is we scored, I think it was four or five goals against Man City, and it was in the FA Cup, and they played a B squad basically against us at home, and we just thrashed them. And it was like, you don't really understand the gravity at the time, being that young. I must have been about 10, but it was electric, and the audience, everything. It was really, really cool. One last point, just to drop a nugget. But basically, we have a waiter here called Gabby. He's gone back to India at the moment. He's coming back next month. But the little kids are now drumming on the drum and taking photos. It's nice. Like, it's just so he's an Arsenal, like a die-hard Arsenal fan, and he has never been to the UK and has never been to a live game, and so for his entire experience of Arsenal games is in fan zones or in like places like this where they're the home of that club, and the largest audience he's been a part of is while he's at work. So for him, his whole coming to work for him is kind of like this revelation where he's got his team there, he's watching it, and you're cheering with them. It's just lovely to see people, because obviously for me, I'm very blessed that from the UK, there's stadiums everywhere. But from where he's from, they just don't have that ability. So the reality of life is places like this. So that's his lifelong dream, is to go to the UK and watch him live.
When he comes back, we'd like to talk to him about it.
Yeah, for sure. He's back. When is he back? It should be sometime in May. As we get busier, we're bringing more and more people back, basically. So, it should sometime in May. So I'll drop you a message, mate.